I make a motion to adjourn.
Good evening. This is the Raleigh Finance Committee meeting of September 5th, 2017. It's 7:18, and I call the meeting to order. First order of business is reorganization of the Finance Committee.
Have we got a new member yet? Or-
No.
No.
I mean, I'm just doing it official,
Oh.
so.
Right,
So we're still
No.
looking for somebody to volunteer?
right. And we're still at 6 members. Jamie is out. Janet, of course, her last meeting was last meeting. But we still have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
So, do I have any nominations for?
I nominate Larry for chairman.
I'll second.
Third.
All fourth.
All in
All
favor?
in favor?
You gotta say yes,
Yes.
too. Yeah, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we have for vice chairman.
Make a motion that we continue with Sharon as vice chair.
Okay, I second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. And we have, I'll nominate Jamie for the clerk position.
I'll second it.
Any other? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. So much for 2. Oral reports from liaison members. I kind of added that because we haven't really heard from everybody, just to get an update of stuff. When we started
I mean,
off.
I can, speak for the DPW. I know Pat has been putting the bids out for reconstruction of roads. He's got bids back. They've awarded the contracts. I called him last week. I haven't received a call back to know the update, but I think he's, last I heard, he was waiting for the contract to send the contracts back. His goal is to try to get some work done before winter season. We still have 3 months of construction if we want. When I say we, but Pat, I work with him a little bit, but I know he's put the contracts out till December 31st, and the only reason why we suggested that was because of the bidding that was done in July is probably not a good time to put bids out, only because a lot of contractors are already busy. We didn't know where the prices were going to be. We figured they might be high, and then we have the option in December to either renew the contracts for an additional year, or we can rebid it. And I think if we don't finish the work to be done this year, which I'm assuming we won't finish it, that we'll roll over the contracts for 1 more year, and then go from there. So he's working with that. Everything else, as far as the budget on this department, is under budget. I think the new staff member that he got with the along with the cemetery reorganization is going well. It's a good extra hand for him that he needs. I think over time that he may need to bump that position from a half-time position to a full-time position, but we really want to see what the cemetery does, how that works out, and then if we need to or we can afford to, then maybe that would be the time to increase that position to a full-time position. So we'd add 1 more person to the highway department, which is really understaffed right now.
Right.
So that's pretty much on that. His capital money, I don't think he spent any of that yet. I think he's got, I forget what he has on the books for this year, but he hasn't spent any of that yet. So, but he's got all fall season to work on some of those items.
Okay, thank you. Sharon?
I have Board of Health, and they seem to be doing fine.
They're healthy, huh?
They're healthy. I've checked in with them a couple times, but
They doing flu shots at all?
yes, that's going to be October at the Council on Aging. I can check online with their And it's being done in conjunction with Conley's Drug Store, the same place that did it last year.
Yep, good.
Okay.
And it said anybody 18 or over is eligible to come.
Mhm.
I've never done that through the town, Sharon. Does that work? Like you have to show an insurance card?
Your insurance card.
Okay,
yeah.
and then they get paid just like as if you go to CVS?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay,
But it's very nice right there
Mm.
in the Council on Aging room.
right, okay.
And I believe there's going to be another recycle day in November. They usually have one.
Right.
Before the cold
Yeah, it's
weather
usually
comes in.
right before Thanksgiving, because
Yeah.
Linfield and Raleigh were the last two that they
Yeah,
did for the
yeah.
year. So that's a
Yeah,
good,
so-
Is that
good
gonna be
take.
for everything, like paints and
I'm not-
electronics and everything?
Yeah, usually
Usually
that
it's-
company comes in, they do all that stuff. There's a slight charge, I think, for TV
Yeah.
monitors and things of that
Sometimes it's
nature.
like white goods only. I think one of them they had was specifically white goods and electronics.
Yeah.
It wasn't for like paints and
Yeah,
things
but
like that.
this one will be for paints and solvents and
Everything.
Yeah.
things, pesticides, things that you can't get rid of in the
Okay.
trash, batteries, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's always very good.
yes,
Mm.
I go every year.
Yeah. Nice to get rid of your stuff then.
Yeah, my son came down for the last one, and I said, I have a couple of items marked, and the whole back of his pickup truck was loaded.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Council on Aging. Things are a little slow during the summer because of most everyone being on vacation, but they're planning their trips for the fall season. They had an ice cream social that went very well. They're still, very active. They're adding some other games and stuff like that to their calendar of events, things like that. So if you seniors out there can get on down to the council, there's always something happening over there, as well as every Monday their congregate meal. And even then, if you look at their Council on Aging bulletin, they have the menu for the month in there, which is very handy if you're looking for something particular or maybe don't want something in particular. But they're doing very well.
Community preservation, that's been quiet as far as no meetings over the summer. The last one was in April or May, and there's another one scheduled, I believe, either October or November. So it's been quiet over the summer.
How
Okay.
does the community, does someone just float an idea and say, hey, we want to do this now, we want to take care of this piece of parcel, we got this, the bird, whatever that group is called, they want to, how does the smaller groups work? Because sometimes it's not always these big
It's not
parcels that they
It's
have.
just easy where they have money that they throw
Yeah.
at a group. Like, for example, somebody came to this is back last spring, about replacing windows for the Baptist church.
Yeah.
Because it's a historical building, and the way that the CPC works is that you have to have some for like open space, like the Girl Scout camp.
Yeah.
But where they spent such a significant amount on that, they can't put more money into that. Other things
Yeah.
like historical preservation, like the things like in the common, or the city hall, town hall windows rather,
Yeah.
and other projects.
Yeah, they
And,
did help with the restoring the steeple on the Congregational
on the
Church.
congregation, because
Right.
that's another historical
Historic
building
building, yeah.
in town. So they're limited, there are formulas that they have to.
But who decides what's gonna get approved? You could do a lot of small projects like historical preservation thing, or you could do a big parcel of land and, dedicate that for open space. And how do they decide what gets up to the front of
They
the
have
line?
to follow the
you know?
formulas that the state
The
has said.
formula?
A formula, because in other
Yeah.
words, what
Keep pumping
percent
into
can
the-
they
yeah.
allocate towards open space in a given year? So they have to balance that
Yeah.
with the other categories.
Yeah, there's also,
I don't know
for
if they have
housing,
to go to
the
the
third
state
one is
to
housing.
approve the project though, or if it's.
Town meeting has to.
Town meeting does
Right.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot more involved.
But I believe most anyone can approach the
Right.
Yes,
CPC
they can.
with a project, and then they look to see if it meets certain guidelines and things like
Right.
that, so.
They have to be
They
specific.
don't necessarily come up with, let's buy Bradford Street Farm.
You know, I know
type of
there's,
thing.
there's people, that make these proposals, and I was
Mhm.
just wondering how they come about deciding which one is, they're gonna go with and which one,
Some
how
have
they
come before the group at the meeting,
No.
and they're lacking a lot in specifics, so they're told that they've gotta go back,
Yeah.
and they've gotta come up with much more detailed information. You
Mm.
just can't say, oh, we need $100,000 for such
Mm.
and such. There were, one of the things there last year was, some, like for the trails in the Raleigh State Forest, like bridges and stuff,
Oh, yes,
in the
I
wet
remember,
areas,
yeah.
so and then questions came up, well, how durable do these need to be? Because a lot of people, not a lot, but some people take their horses into the forest, and they've got to be strong enough so that if somebody's got a big animal like a horse, it's not going to damage the walkways. So they come back. So they come back with issues like that, and they say, well, have you had an engineer that tests the load capacity and things like that? They just don't approve stuff readily without all this, getting all the specifics for a project. So, but anyway, it's supposed to be another meeting. It's either next month or November. It was a tentative thing.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you. Peter?
Yeah.
Tell us about school.
Well, you know what, I haven't been on vacation, I haven't gone to any, I don't even know if there has been any district communication meetings over the summer. I think they were put on hold. I mean, there've been school committees, meetings, but I didn't attend any of those.
Yeah, they had a district communications meeting, I think it was last week, where Joe Perry, Dave Peterson, and myself made a request for being more involved in the budget as far as Raleigh is concerned with Triton, more upfront, rather than wait until the January, February or so time frame when they kind of have set the budget and we have to kind of go around it. Dave Peterson made a presentation as far as what the town typically has offered Triton and what Triton has requested from the town, which at least over the last 3 years has meant about $1 million difference between what Raleigh could
But
afford.
the problem is really the swings between what's involved in the assessment, and that's why it's so hard to budget or figure out, because, I mean, a little bit of a swing could mean that we might pay $300,000 more than Newbury or something like that, and that's kind of the element that they don't really have too much control over. I mean, they can set a budget and say, this is what it's gonna cost, and it's gonna be 3.5% over what was last year, or 3%. I think last year it was under 3% what they had for their budget, but the swings, like for, Raleigh was like over 7 or 8%, and that's the part that's the difficult part. So how do you account for those swings? Because they could push a budget, $750,000 one way or the other, and that's the biggest problem, I think, what they have as far as doing the budget goes.
Well,
I
what
mean,
they're
'cause
trying to
they-
do is to get more involved with the towns, or the towns get more involved with the budgeting process up front, so that they can account for the swings at a much earlier stage in the town's budgeting process. And the Triton School District heard the presentation, but no comment was made on it. So that's kind of where that stood.
Well, I think it's, it would be kind of, I think it's good to be involved and see, but, I think there should be some way of having a better handle on on what the assessment. We should change that formula that we're talking about doing and trying to make it more predictable, instead of, having these costs and no one knows exactly what's gonna happen, and then everybody's on a tight budget, the school's on a tight budget too. I don't think when you have costs that have increased, less than 3% from the previous year, I don't really think that that's a hell of a lot of an increase in the budget.
But when you realize the town can only raise taxes 2.5%, a
Well,
3%
I know,
increase is
well,
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
There was a big article in the New Report News last week about the Triton buses, and that they were not going to have late
The late
buses.
buses, yeah.
And then they reevaluated and decided they could take one bus away from Raleigh
Yeah.
and one away from Salisbury, and they still had room for all the kids, and then they could use that
Yeah.
for the
Well, I know
late
that's
buses.
Because I know the buses, I know the one that my son goes on is only like half full, so.
That's with the
You know,
limited enrollment going down, it's time to look at things that way.
And, to do that equal formula for all three towns, as you know, and we know, that has to be voted on by all three towns. And if, in the town like Newbury, who
They were
is getting
making
a
out,
credit,
yeah.
they have no foot in the game to say, yeah, we're gonna vote for that. So, it's a good idea. It's probably worth still investigating, but I'm not sure that, it's gonna be the absolute solution to the whole problem. Because even if you did that, that has to be voted on every year.
Every year, right. I
It's
know.
not like we change the formula and then we don't have to worry about politics and whatever else. Every year it has to change, and you know that as the Triton school budget goes up, that could easily be reversed. So I think, as our board did last year, it wasn't a unanimous vote to support the Triton school budget, and I think this year I commend the selectmen for going forward and trying to put our cards on the not our cards on the table, but inform them that we're going to look at it a little bit harder because with all the new construction going on in the town here between the fire station, we're paying for the Triton field, and we're doing the school. That I don't know where we are financially going to be this year, so I think that they need to know up front that it's going to be a tough year.
Right. Well, the
There's only-
purpose is just to get an update of stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to solve the problems here this evening.
Is
Or if
Newbury
so,
on-
I'd wait for 15 minutes.
Is Newbury
So,
on board with this in Salisbury? Do they-
I'm not going to comment on the other towns. You'd have to watch their meetings to find out where they stand and all. Okay, item 4, review minutes of July 11th. Has everyone had a chance to review the
Yeah,
minutes?
I didn't see anything.
I reviewed them, but I have to recuse myself because I was
Right.
absent.
I make a motion that we accept them.
Okay.
I'll second the
Sharon,
motion.
Dennis.
Nice.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and Paul recused. Next meeting date?
They haven't set a date yet for a fall town meeting, have they?
Not that I know of.
But
Is there going to be a town meeting in the fall?
Yes. I would recommend that we go to the second Tuesday in October unless something comes up that we needed for.
It'll be October 10th? Is
The
that
day
our-
after the holiday, right?
That's-
Yep.
Right, day after Columbus Day.
Okay.
I've got a new work schedule now. I'm working till 7, but I can see if I can change that. I can see if I can change that. I thought it was going to be the 10th, so I crossed out the 10th. I mean the 17th, but
Well, we usually meet the second Tuesday.
yeah, all right. Well, so let me see if I can change that. But right now I have a conflict.
Well,
but I
You
can.
want to go for the 17th?
Doesn't make any difference. I mean,
It doesn't matter to me either.
All right, let's go for the 17th.
that work for you?
Works fine unless,
Okay, 'cause then-
unless they set an earlier date
Yeah.
for
Right.
town meeting and we
Yeah.
need to work on it, but probably
Okay,
we
I
won't.
appreciate that.
Larry, can
Yes.
I Because I didn't know that the last one was for the school district. I thought it was a regular school committee meeting. So when is the next date for getting it set up? I mean, when's the next one now?
I don't recall, I didn't
I
stay
think they
for
listed it somewhere on the website, in an email. They listed, I think 5 or 6 future meetings.
Okay.
So, I don't know them offhand, but if you get the emails from the school committee, you're on the
Yeah.
chain. I think if you look in there, you'll see one of
The
them.
district meeting? Okay.
Yeah, district meetings, yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Paul? Any second? Going once?
I'll
going
second.
Twice? Okay, Dennis, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned, thank you very much.